Hello, hey there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Benjamin. Welcome to the Bold and Raw Talks. Me, together with my guest, our resident guest, Lydia Tett Olet. And this is our third edition of parenting. And as you can see on the topic there, we will be talking about what makes a single parent more difficult, and being a single parent more difficult and also complex. So in the next 1 hour or so, I welcome you wherever you are. Join in together, me and Lydia. Help me to share the video. If you're going to be watched for the first time, especially on Facebook, don't forget to follow this page. And you can also watch a repeat of the other shows, the first and the second edition about parenting on my YouTube channel with the name Benjamin Junior Bogonko. So in today's topic, we will have a summary of what we talked about in the last show. And if you are here, I want to know in the comment section if you were here last time. We had a show 2 weeks ago, because the show is every Monday. Today is Monday, the 21st of February, 2022 is when we are doing this show. Every Monday around 8 p.m. East African time. We do this show 5 p.m. the United Kingdom time. So welcome you here. If you're a parent, if you have a child, if you have children, if you're a single parent, we welcome you here to tune in. You can ask your questions as we are talking. And that's why I want you to share the video, tag your friend, tag another friend that you know wherever they are, so that we can have a discussion together with us. So in the next few seconds, I'll be bringing in my guest, and so that we talk about today's topic. If you look at the list, the areas we will be focusing on include the behaviors of a single parent, how it affects a child, because sometimes it's not easy even for two parents to raise their child. And you, as a parent who is alone and you're trying to do it on your own, it can become more complex and much more difficult. My guest is a single parent, and she has been blessed with 3 children. She's been raising them for years now. So she has experience that she wants to share with you as a parent on what to do and what not to do, or what can work and what cannot work according to her experience. We'll also talk about the respect. What's the meaning of respect as a single parent? What does it mean to respect your child and your children to respect you, and even the respect outside raising this child? What do people say about single parents? And then we will also finish by talking about identity, about the naming of the child, about the child knowing the father or the missing parent, what happens, what doesn't work, what works. So tune in here. This is a very, very important program for any parent or even a parent to be. Tag your uncle, tag your aunties, share the video, and above all, tune in now for the next 1 hour. So now I'm going ahead to bring my guest, Lydia. Can you hear me, Lydia?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming back again.
Thank you.
Yes. As usual, I would like you to say hello to the viewers, and
Yes.
then we can start.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Benjamin, once again for this platform. And I appreciate your platform, because your platform talks about raw stuff, things that a lot of people don't like talking about. And I actually enjoyed the other one about sex. That was
Yes.
interesting. That was so interesting. I was like, what? Oh my God. But we learn, and because we shy away from things like this, and these are things that are our daily life, but we shy away from them. We shy away from talking about parenting, because we feel like, oh, if I talk about parenting, people think that I have perfect children, or people think that I'm judging them. But that's not the case. We're here on this planet to help each other grow. And if I know something and then I cannot pass it to you, then what's the point? Or even if I pass it to you and you don't implement it, because I had somebody saying somewhere that we always say that knowledge is power. Knowledge is not actually power. Knowledge is only power if you implement it. That's when it's power. Okay. So if you have it and you die with it, so what have you done? You've not allowed the other person to implement the power that you know, or the knowledge that you know. So that's why I totally appreciate your platforms, because you talk about real life, stuff that happen in real life. And parenting is one of them. So I totally appreciate you. So thank you so much. And I also appreciate every single person who takes their time to come and watch listen, share, comment, ask questions, contribute. So I also appreciate every single person. So thank you very much once again.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lydia. Thank you for those kind words. We will continue. The Wednesday Raw Sex Talk is every Wednesday, and we talk raw. It's really, really raw.
It is.
So, ladies and gentlemen who are tuning in here, we appreciate your comments. Because of time, we will focus so much on our discussion, but your greetings, your location, wherever you are, we really appreciate where you are. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bear with us. We will come back to the comments later on. We now begin our discussion with the first topic, which we did 2 weeks ago. Lydia, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about discipline. In summary, we talked about disciplining our children. And also we talked about the boxing match, using a child as the punching box.
Yes.
Can you briefly mention some of the key things, in summary, what we talked about last time?
Well, when it comes to discipline, the one thing that we spoke about was do not say something and you don't do it. So whatever discipline you alter from your mouth, whatever comes out from your, make sure you carry it on. So that's why you have to think so much, even if you have to pray, even if you have to say, you know what, go to your room, I'll think of a punishment later. Don't just because we know this saying Swahili, hasira hasara. You can be angry and say something out of anger and then later realize, oh my God, that was so harsh. How can I even do that? And then you don't do it. So if you don't implement the punishment that you say that you're going to do, your children will never take you serious. They'll just say, wachana na mami, iko tu ndio usema, wachana na dadi and afanyangi. So that was in terms of discipline. Do not say something and don't do it. Whatever discipline you give the child, make sure you carry it.
Wow.
And then we also spoke about matching box. We have parents who, either a husband or a wife from exes, they're not even exes, they use their children to hurt the other person. Or you'll never see your child again. You have to do this. They blackmail the other partner, and they use children as a battlefield, as a matching box. So stop using the children. The children, first of all, they did not ask to be born, and the children need to have both parents in their lives, or they need to respect both parents in their lives, unless there was abuse. But you know, there are some parents who are very, very good as a husband or a wife, but they're very, very good as a dad or as a mom, but horrible husbands or horrible wives. Just because this person was horrible to you as a husband or as a wife doesn't mean that you should now deny them the rights to see their children and start using the children as a matching box. And then we also spoke about affirmation. Always affirm to your children how much they're beautiful, how much you love them, how much this. Because if you don't give them that affirmation, they'll go out there, they'll get a man who will tell them, oh baby, you're so beautiful. They'll just fall in love because of that word. Or because, oh, I love you, baby. They'll fall in love because of that word. But you keep on affirming your children every day before they wake up, when they wake up. Send them a text. I send my children a text, the same text, but I edit it. That is so funny. I edit it, but so I put their names. I personalize it, and I tell them, don't show your sisters, because you're my favorite. I love you so much. It's the same thing I'm telling all of them. So you have to affirm these children and let every child think that they are your favorite.
Wow.
And that is affirmation. So if they meet a boy out there and they say, you're beautiful, I love you, they'll be like, I'm beautiful, I know. My mom tells me that all the time. And you love me? No, my mom loves me. I don't need it. You understand? So you need to affirm to your children every day how beautiful and how much you love them. So that was what we spoke about last week.
Beautiful summary for all of you just tuning in. If you want to watch a repeat of that show, which we did 2 weeks ago, please go ahead to my YouTube channel, Benjamin Junior Bogonko, and watch about disciplining. Discipline has become very extremely hard for so many parents. No matter how much you are educated, or you are talented, or you have money, or you have time with your child, discipline has become very complex for so many people. For me, as I said again earlier on, I keep on repeating, I used to be a teacher. I was teaching even the kids, I was teaching teenagers, and the teaching profession has become even more complex, more than even parenting, because the teachers spend more time with their children these days. Of course, it's normal. They spend 5 days a week, sometimes even 6. And the discipline from a teacher has totally changed compared to so many years ago. Most teachers cannot be able to implement many things to the children the parents and their students, their children have become more, they are more superior than the teacher. Hakuna kuchapwa, hakuna. It's very, very complex. That's why I want you to tune in here. No matter how old your child is, Lydia has 3 daughters. And Lydia, please remind them the ages of your daughter. There are so many people who are watching again for the first time. The daughters you are raising, how old are they?
Yeah, my firstborn is 24. She's going to be 25 this year. My secondborn is 18, just turned 18 this year. And my lastborn is 16 as well, just turned 16 2 weeks ago.
24, 18, and 16.
Yeah.
So they are teenagers and a young adult.
Yes.
But you have raised them when they are so young. So you have gone through the whole cycle. Somebody who is watching, if you have a child who is under the age of 5, under the age of 10, or under the age of 20, or even under the age of 25, this talk belongs to you to listen and to learn something from Lydia and, of course, the people who are commenting there. So we appreciate everyone who is tuning in. Remember to share the video. And now we are going to move to the first topic of today's discussion. As you can see there on your phone or wherever you're watching us from, whether it's on TV or on your tablet, we are going to focus on the parents' behavior. behavior. So Lydia, I know most parents want to do the best for their children. That is a fact. Almost all parents want the best for their children. Mm-hmm. But there are behaviors or behavior traits that might affect the child or might affect the parenting. In your own experience and your analysis, what do you think is one of the biggest bad behaviors? Very bad behavior. Let's start with number 1, very bad behavior. Yes.
First of all, I just want to tell the viewers again, I am not a psychiatrist or a counselor. I'm just a parent who attended so many parenting classes, so many parenting lessons, but not to get any certificate, but just to have a knowledge and understanding of how to deal with children. I'm also someone who have raised 3 children by herself. When their dad left, my last one was only 2 years old, but now she's 16. And I raised these 3 girls all by myself, of course, with only me and God. That's why I always say it can only be God, because it was only God who helped me. But I struggled and I suffered with them. But there's some principle that I applied in my life and in bringing my children up that really, really helped me. And that's why today I can proudly stand even with my neighbors and say, God have blessed me with very beautiful children and children who are also disciplined. Are they perfect? No, they're not. They're far from that. They're not perfect. Sometimes I feel like flushing them in the toilet. But are they good children? Yes, they're very, very good. In fact, one of my neighbors made a comment, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Mm-hmm. He made a comment one day and said, when he had cancer and was in a hospice where you stay because they know that you're going to pass on. And when I went to see him, and that was on a Tuesday, and he passed on a Friday, which was really sad, he told the nurses that, you see this woman, she has 3 beautiful girls. If everybody can have children the way they are so disciplined, then you can have 12 children or 20 children without any care or fear. I was like, oh, that's so sweet to say. In fact, he was a white person. So for a white person to even say that was, it was something. Mm-hmm. And I have tried. But with being a single parent, guys, it's not easy. Now I'm going to the side of emotion, our bodies. As a single person, sometimes you feel like, oh my God, I want to have a man or I want to have a woman. The one thing that we do as single parents that it's totally wrong is to bring somebody in your house. So it doesn't matter, especially if you have girls, bringing men in your house. These men, you don't know them. A man can molest your own child. That child will never forgive you, ever. Because you brought that monster in the house. And that monster did what they did to them or to her or even to him. So one thing that a lot of single parents do, because yes, we have feelings. I want to have a man, I want to have a woman, but do not show your children those things. Mm-hmm. Because nowadays children don't do what you say. They do what you do. Mm-hmm. Nowadays you say something, they look at you and think, Mommy, you're just being a hypocrite. Daddy, you're just being a hypocrite. You told us don't do this, but yet you're doing it. Because they don't do what we say anymore. They do what you do. Because children see you as a mirror. You are the first mirror that your children will see. You are the first idol that your children will see. You are the first mentor. You're the first teacher that your children will see. So what are you teaching them by bringing different men in the house or different women in the house? What are you teaching your children? You're telling them that it's okay to do this, so when they start doing it, and then you start complaining. So don't do things like that. If you feel like, oh, I really want to, I really have to, go to a hotel. How much is a hotel? Or go to that man's house or that woman's house, but do not bring anybody in your house for your children to see. My girls, I've never seen anybody in the house. Even if I have a man out, you're not coming to my house because I don't even know you. And I have girls. It's my duty as a mother to protect my children. That should be a safe haven for them. Your house should be a safe haven. It should not be a house. It should be a home. You need to make it a home. But it can't be a home if you're bringing every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the house, because you don't even know the spirits they're coming in your house with. They're coming with some evil spirits, and they're leaving all their rubbish inside your house. And that will never be a home. So that's one thing that as single parents, especially single parents, that's why I said single parents. There are some things that we do that should not be done. There are some things that we say as well, because there's loneliness. So you can find a single parent saying, oh, my husband, Baba Kwaliniacha because of you, because we have some parents who blame children for their downfall.
That's what I want us to move on. Yeah, one of the other behaviors. So number one, according to experience, is a lady who wants to have a man, or she wants to bring them even in the house together with with the children there.
Yeah.
Because even in the other previous show, I mentioned there is a lady that I know who has a teenager, and both teenagers, a son and a daughter, and she said she is not going to date again until the daughter has moved away from the house. Yes. And it's a sacrifice she took. And she said, Benjamin, I'm going to live with this. What stories she has heard about the men coming and doing what you're saying to their daughters. She made that tough decision that until the daughter has finally walked away from the house, that's when she will begin the process of bringing a man into the house. And you see, that's a very tough decision to take.
Perfect and tough decision.
Yes.
Because let me ask you, if you're having sex, how long will this sex take anyway?
Raw sex the best sex takes about 20 minutes. I don't time myself, but 20 minutes only, yeah.
So what is 20 minutes compared to your children? Do you understand? 20 minutes. It's not worth it. And with our body, because it's a mindset. I always tell people it's a mindset. I know some people disagree with me, but you can actually train your mind, like the lady who said this is a sacrifice. Don't you think that sometimes she has feelings and she's like, oh my God, I'm lonely? But you can train your mind not to think of sex. You can train your mind to think of something else. If I think of sex, I start putting gospel music because I feel so guilty that I'm listening to gospel music and I feel like I want to have sex. So that makes me feel guilty. And then that feeling will just disappear. Okay. Like, yes, it's there. But when you have children, you have to put your children first. These children will grow. These children will leave you. When they leave, that's all your time. And like I always tell people, I always tell my children that, and this is the exact words that I use to them. I say, you see that dick, honey? The dick will be there even if you're 70 years old. It will be there even if you're 80 years old. Right now, it's time to focus on your studies. And then later, when you now want your dick, you can eat it anytime you want. My children are like, okay, mom, you don't have to go that deep. I even tell their friends, I say, sweetheart, stop chasing dick. It's there. Even 70 years old women, it's there, or men, it's there. Don't we see 70-year-old men marrying, getting 40 years old women or 30? Leonard Richard, 70 years old, his girlfriend is how old is the girlfriend? She's so young. So those things are there. So right now, it's time for you to look after your children.
Very important. Very important. Wow, very powerful there. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. So these single ladies who are single parents and they come to my Meet and Mingle show every Saturday and Sunday, they are looking for boyfriends. You know, the feelings are there. It's normal to have emotions. It's normal to want a man. It's normal to want to have sex. And for you, you have said one of the best techniques that works for you is to train your mind, to remove your mindset from looking for a man, looking for sex, and focusing on just raising your daughters. But it's complex. That's why we say raising, the topic is what makes being a single parent more difficult and complex. So keep on sharing the video. If you're watching, if you're learning something, you should have clicked share button by now. I don't understand why you are learning a lot from this. And you have sisters, you have aunties, you even have a daughter who's maybe on Facebook. I have no idea why you alone are getting this information and this knowledge by not sharing the video. We appreciate everyone who is tuning in here. And Lydia, I want to move on to still the same topic about behaviors. There is, for me, one of the biggest challenges that I have noticed with single parenting is trying to have a father figure. Father figure for the children. And I want to ask the viewers, do you agree that being a single parent, sometimes you want that man to be around, the voice of a man, when you're making decisions, when you want somebody even to attend functions or even to fix things in the house? Do you agree, in my own analysis, that yes, being a single parent and sometimes raising this child or children, it is very tough when you need a father figure in the house or near your child? So what do you think? I'm asking the viewers, but for you, Lydia, you have been together with your 3 children.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the father figure and how do you handle it?
Even before I go to the father figure, I just want to tell people that it's not easy. It's not that you train your mind and if you want to have sex, and I have to come back to that. Yes, you can, but not in your house. That's all I'm saying. Do not do it in front of your children. Do not do it in your house. Even still on that sex topic, Benjamin, we have some women who have toys. They have their toys. Fine, you can use your toys. I'm not against that. But make sure you hide those things that your children will never see them. Because I've heard, because I deal a lot with the youths, like I told you, my passion, that's where my passion with parenting comes from. Because I deal a lot with youths who are broken. A child will come and say, oh my God, I saw my mom's sex toys. I'm thinking, damn, and they shouldn't see these things. You can have them. I'm not saying don't have them, because you want to release those sexual urges. That's fine. But hide those things. Don't let your children see. Don't let your children hear you wanking yourself in your room, which is, you understand. First of all, personally, I think that's a sin to me personally. But if you feel you want to do it, I'm not here to judge anybody. But I'm only here to tell you, do not let your children hear you doing those things or see you doing those things. Don't bring men in your house. Don't bring women in your house. Do those things outside, far from your children. So that's 1. 2, the man figure, the father figure, yes, it's very important, especially, or even the mother figure. Now, let's talk about a single parent who's a man, and you have girls. Come on, Benjamin, there's some things these girls will not tell their dads, and even some things awkward talking to them about. Now, I'll give you an example of one woman, one man, and I'll say this without even fear. The woman my ex took somebody's wife, okay? And we were family friends, and he took this man's wife. We were family friends like this. So this man was left with the children. The daughter was 13 years old. The daughter started periods. He didn't know what to do. He came to me. He was even crying that he doesn't know what to do with the girl. He was crying. He said, Lydia, they've sent this girl out of school. She's having pains. I don't know what to do. So I had to talk to the girl. The girl is 13. She didn't even know what to do. So there are some things men cannot handle when it's a single parent as a man, and he has girls. He will need a woman to help him. It's the same thing with women, especially if they are boys. There are some things boys. The other day I had boy child talk, and I brought Robert Bulari, and Robert Bulari was talking about if you have women that they were watching, they were like, what? He was saying, I don't know if you have your private pass, I don't know, you put it on your left or you put it on your, God, I can't remember. And I was thinking, what, is that a thing? Apparently it's a thing. That is how you put those things, like the balls, those your balls, you put it, I don't know, on your left. And he was teaching some women things that women don't know. So how, as a woman, how do I know to tell this to my boys? So yes, you need a man figure, a woman figure, but that man figure, Benjamin, or a woman figure, has to be somebody that you know and you trust 100%. Because you can bring a destroyer, a Jezebel, a demon in your house. So the children that you've worked so hard to train and to teach, well, somebody will come and destroy them within seconds, because that's what Jezebels do. That's what one demon of a man will come and do, or one demon of a woman will come and do. So you have to be very careful who you bring. But yes, do you need those people? Yes, you do. Because if you're a man, you don't know what to do with these girls. If you're a woman, you don't know what to do with this boy. And sometimes they need that voice of reasoning. And that voice of reasoning can only come from either a woman or a man. So you do need them. And I did have
for you now, how did you juggle that? Because now your ex was not in the house, was missing.
I'm a woman, so everything for me.
Everything you are deciding, you are acting as the man and as the woman at the same time.
Exactly. Because
but did you allow your daughters, let me ask you this, did you allow your daughters to meet other men, like their uncles or grandfather or any other man around? How are you managing all those years up to now?
Because my parents, because my parents are in my dad is in Kenya, so they don't have no grandfather here, and the only person that they have here is my elder sister's husband. Okay, Uncle Philip. Uncle Philip, if you're watching, love you, because he watches my shows all the time. Yeah. So Uncle Philip is a very fatherly figure to them. And my second one, they're like this because they see him as their dad. My last born, who is 16, every time there's a holiday, like this holiday, she went there and lived with my sister and the husband. So they feel comfortable with him. But even him, I knew, because they met with my sister a very long time ago, when my second born was only 2, before I had my last born. So they've been together with my sister forever. So he has known my children forever. So he's the only person who I allowed around my children as a man. But he can't even advise them because he's a man. All he is, oh, Uncle Philip, we are going to see Uncle Philip. Oh, Uncle Philip, there's a man there. But everything else I did because they're girls. But if I had a boy, I could have easily even allowed my boy to go and live with my sister for a while, so that the man can be, Uncle Philip can be the man figure for him. But I have girls.
Yeah,
so that's for myself.
So for you, what worked? You are lucky to even have your sister's husband around, so they can go there, play around with him. Yeah. Wow, very powerful. We are beginning to receive reactions here. You said you are raising your children in the UK, like Dr. Mary Wanjiku Gichu. Says, Lydia Tett Olet, did you raise your kids in London or Kenya? It is tough out here. Sister, I'm sweating raising one boy. No support, no experiences. And I have hosted her before. She's an awesome lady who writes amazing books. And yes, she has a son who is young, I believe, maybe under the age of 5. And she's raising the son alone there in Europe.
I've actually met her, and I've met the son when I went to receive an award in Germany, I think. And she was there where she came to receive an award, and she had a son. And yes, it was really hard for her because even when she went to receive the award, she had to come with a son. So yes, I've raised all my 3 children were born in the UK, and I've lived with them. My firstborn, my second, my third, they were all born in the UK. They've only been to Kenya 3 or 4 times, but of course, it's so expensive to take them there. So I can't afford to take them there all the time. And I struggled. Yesterday, I was even telling a woman, there's a time when my firstborn was only 3 years old. I was with my firstborn, Benjamin. It was so painful. I was with my firstborn at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. in the morning. Me and my firstborn, we are still in somewhere called Piccadilly Circus in the center of London, because I came because I was a dancer. So I went to dance in a theater. After I finished dancing in theater, I have to take my daughter with me. 3 a.m., the 3-year-old, getting into a bus where people who are drunk, people who are making noise, and it's cold, UK, you live in America, so you know how cold it is. At 3 a.m., 3 a.m. children are sleeping. But me, I'm in town with my daughter at 3 a.m. and she's only 3 years old at that time. So you can imagine how I've struggled. But the only thing with me, what I said, Benjamin, the little I have, that is what I'll eat with my children. But I'll never do this up and down work that I want to build an empire and leave my children at home with a stranger. I said no. So I struggled financially. There's a time, Benjamin, we ate dry rice and tomato, nyanya, tomato. I put tomato kwa pot, nazi bonda bonda, and this is in the UK. This is not Kenya. Na bonda tomato ikisha kwa puree, I put ketchup. We eat that with rice because I didn't have money to buy chicken or thing. Alafu ninaambia watoto, it's just because mommy is very lazy today. Mommy can't cook meat or anything. Let's just eat this. My children are happily eating anything that mommy cooked for them. That's because I was content with the little I had because my children were my number one. And that's why me and my children were so close. We are so close because I took them everywhere. Kama kibeti. I didn't leave them.
Wow. Dr. Mary Wanjiku, you can hear what Lydia is saying. Anywhere she was moving around, she was moving them like kibeti, amewashika, amewabeba. What a powerful testimony there, Lydia. Thank you so much for keep on breaking to us and the viewers about how you have been raising those three daughters up to now. The other issue that before we move on to the third topic of today about respect, Lydia, I want you to briefly talk about some of the challenges of being a single parent is trying to be a super parent or sacrificing so much, doing everything that the child is the center of your life. But at the end of the day, Lydia, you have your life. You can focus so much in trying to make this child very happy until to the extent of forgetting who is Lydia. You also need your life. You need to enjoy life. You need to live life.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to those parents who do so much, working so hard to the extent of forgetting who they are?
Balance, Benjamin. You can go mad. That's why you see in the UK alone, we have the statistic shows that a lot of Black women are in mental institute. Black women are in mental institute, a lot. In fact, in my area, this video went viral. But the funny thing is, it was just next where I do my hair at the salon. A woman just took her clothes, a Black woman, she just took her clothes naked and she was walking on top of cars. I don't know if you saw that video. That was just next to my house. You can go, if you don't have balance, you can lose it. As a single, especially as a single parent. Let me tell you one day what happened to me and I didn't even know what to do. I know I've told you that my children came to America without me. But because they never traveled without me before, my firstborn got panic. She started vomiting. She got anxiety. Benjamin, I am telling you, I've never seen something like this in my life. This girl vomited for 2 hours and she was actually vomiting for real. And then my secondborn was having panic attacks because she hates vomit. Any voice, if she hears vomit, she gets a panic attack. So my firstborn is vomiting in the bathroom. My secondborn, her room is just next there. She's getting a panic attack. She can't breathe. She's like, I can't breathe. And I'm by myself. If I had my husband, I could have said, you deal with one child, I'll deal with the other one. So now this one is having a panic attack because she's having panic attack because this one is vomiting next to her. So I had to take this one outside in the garden. And then the other one is upstairs. When I'm running upstairs, the other one is crying, Mommy, so you don't love me? Why are you leaving me? If I go and leave that one, no, Benjamin, that's the day I said, Jesus, help me. How do I deal with this? I'm by myself. And then my last one was she was only 13 at that time. I couldn't put her through that and say, go and stay with one of your sisters. So I had to do it. I was like, because she's strong, she didn't have anything. She was like, when I'm exchanging, I say, go and look for your sister. Okay, you come this side, you come this side. She was only 13 and I had to put her through all that. But if I had if I had a husband, he could have helped me with one and I stay with one. And my daughter was just saying, cancel the ticket, Mommy, cancel the ticket. I said, I'm not canceling yet. Let's just see how you feel tomorrow. The next day she was fine. But it was just the fact that they're going without me. That was the first time they're going anywhere without me. So that was so difficult. But as much as, look at me, I sent them to America. I stayed in the UK by myself for 3 weeks. That was a break for me. But I knew that I'm sending them somewhere. I'll send them to my mom and my sister, and they are safe 100%. And I booked direct flight. So I'm here in London, direct flight. When they get to Boston, my sister, they're waiting for them. So I knew they're safe. But I balanced. I had time out. Those 3 weeks I didn't work. All I did was stay home. I took 3 days to clean the house. After 3 days, the house was sparkling clean. The rest of the times, I was alone. I relaxed. I watched movies. I wasn't bored. I was alone because I needed that. So as a parent, you need to balance. You need to balance work, looking after your children, and your own time. This is my me time. And my me time, I don't want to be disturbed. And that's why I said, Benjamin, when I get home from work, I always ask all my 3 children, I give them time. Your time, she tells me, how's your day? We talk. The second one, talk. Third one, talk. And then both 3 of them talk. When they finish, now is mommy's time. I go to my room. I start watching my TV, I watch my movie, or I listen to my motivational speaking. I like to listen to motivational speaking tapes. I do what I'm doing without them because they know I've given them all their time. Now it's mommy's time. But you need to identify, you need to make them know that. You need to put that early and say, mommy's this, mommy. And then when it's mommy's time, no disturbance. So you know when it's daddy's time. And then sometimes, like, I trust my sister so much, they go to my sister's house and I'm free. So you need to have that. You need to have that. Otherwise,
balancing is the key thing here, and I want the viewers to type there. Balancing is the key. Don't forget about yourself. Live your life. Do your hobbies like. I mean, focusing on the hobby, because on Sundays, every Sunday, I have the question and answer session. Sometimes you tune in. Thank you so much, Lydia. I normally see your comments. Yeah. The topic is always about love, life, and well-being every Sunday. If you're watching for the first time, Sundays is another big show that we help to talk about the well-being. Because at the end of the day, as you're trying your best, you might forget about yourself. As Lydia has mentioned, there are so many parents who are staying in mental institutions. Mental instability is so bad that you are doing your best and the society does not recognize it. You know how the society says about a single parent, what they call them and how they talk about them. And then your child is also disturbing you, and also you yourself, you have your own issues at work or where you're staying. So balancing all these things is the key thing here. Don't forget yourself. Do have some hobbies. Enjoy life. If you want to travel, try to travel. If you need your child to go to someone else, like what Lydia said, allow them to go somewhere so that you can be free and breathe, even if it's for one day, for one weekend. We all need that time to be away from them so that we can get back the energy. Now, Lydia, I know we can go on talking about the behavior. All these are behaviors, but we are also focusing on the third topic, which when you look at the list as our viewer, it was about the respect. Now let's move quickly to the respect. We will come back to about the behaviors of single parents in front of their children or away from their children. Let's talk about respect.
Yeah. I mean, respect, Benjamin, this is where everything starts, okay? And as little as sometimes you see children, you've gone to a birthday party, okay? And you see this person took their time to put the balloons up, to decorate this house so beautiful. And then somebody comes with their children and the children are pulling the balloons and taking, come on, respect. And when you don't know, Benjamin, I tell my children, ukishika kitu kwa nyumba mtu, pata, usishike chochote. Ile utapata, vile utapata, the way you find somebody's house, and I speak Swahili, utapata vile somebody's house, that's the way we're doing it. So when the party is finished, the people always just take balloons and give it to the children. It's finished. But why would you allow your child to come in somebody's house and they start destroying things and you're just there? It's like that is the time for you to take a break. But it's not time for you to take a break because it's not somebody's responsibility to look after your child. It's your own responsibility to look after your child. You've gone somewhere in a party with the children, it's children's party and everything, or it's family thing. Your child is running helter-skelter, destroying things, and you're just there talking like you're pretending you can't see. You can actually see, but you're
because that's not your home. You have just gone a party to someone's home. Your children are destroying people's things, but you're quiet. You don't care because that is not your home.
It's not your home. So you're treating it two things. It's not my home, so why should I care? And the second thing, you're thinking, oh, let me just take a break, man. Let them deal with it. No, nobody's dealing with your children. It's your responsibility. Benjamin, that thing so annoys me when I go somewhere and I see children destroying things. It's okay for children to run around and play, but it's not okay for children to destroy people's things and you're there watching, especially somebody have worked so hard. They've put just something as little as balloon or as little as happy birthday, and then your child comes and rips it off and start wrapping it on themselves. That child that they put happy birthday for, how do you think they feel? They'll start crying, and then the mom will have to say, oh, it's okay, it's okay. It's not okay.
It's not
So
okay.
train your children to have respect for other people's things. And that's where it starts, Benjamin, because they don't respect other people's things. There's no way they're going to respect you or respect the things in the house, because if they don't know what respect is, how do you expect them to respect you? Now, you've gone to a supermarket, as little as these things, Benjamin, you've gone to a supermarket, you've taken meat or you've taken something that is in the freezer, and then, of course, you don't want it anymore because it's too expensive. You take it and leave it where the toilet papers are. You tell your child, wake up to apple, put it there, let's go. That's no respect. So you have to teach your children to respect other people's properties. And that's where it all starts. And people don't even think, because people say, Situni is in the supermarket. Those things are so important, Benjamin. They are so important. And also, parents, when a parent, we're not together, so we are separated, okay? The child goes to the dad starts blabbing and talking rubbish about the mom. That's your mom? Or the mom is talking, that's your dad? Your child will never respect you. Because if you're sitting there blabbing about the mom, a mom who gave birth to this child, even though a child can be there just laughing, hey, daddy, yes, dear daddy, oh yes, but the child will never even respect you. They will grow up and they will resent you because of the things you're saying about their mom or the things you're saying about their dad. But if the child goes and comes back, sometimes my 16-year-old comes back and tells me some crazy stuff that the dad said. I just said, don't mind your dad. That's what I always say. And I say, sweetheart, I respect your dad so much. So that is how that should be your response. Okay? If a child comes and say, my dad said this about you, or my mom said this about you, it's a natural thing that you want to defend yourself. It's a natural thing. You want to defend yourself. Do not start defending over a child. Because this child, just tell your child, is that what mommy said? Is that what daddy said? Yeah. Okay, sweetie, let me tell you something. The reason why I'm not even going to tell you anything bad about your dad or your mom is because I respect your mom so much, because she's your mom. And without her, you won't be here. So I'm not going to tell you anything bad about your mom. If your dad wants to say those bad things about me, that's fine.
But for you, you will never say bad things about the daddy. Never.
No, never. And if a child, and let me tell you something, if you tell a child bad things about their mom or their dad, one day that child will also sit there and say, oh, daddy, because of the things you say about their mom, so they don't respect you. And if you hear a child saying anything bad about their mom or dad, stop them and say, do not talk about your dad like that. Or do not talk about your mom like that. Because she's your mom. My problem and your dad has nothing to do with you guys. That's all I tell my children. My problem and your dad has nothing to do with you people. If I want to call your dad names, I can. Because he's not my dad. I can't call my dad names. So why would you call your dad names? Don't ever talk like that about your dad again. Oh, yes, mommy. So don't allow your children to disrespect the other partner. And you as a partner, stop telling children bad things about the other person. Because you're only showing that child that do not respect that, and that child will not respect you either. Because I know there's always this good cop and bad cop. You want to be the good cop. So you want to tell children bad things about their mom or their dad. And most men do that. Most men just blab about the woman was a prostitute, your mom was the prostitute, your mom was this. Things that are not even true. This woman was never a prostitute. But they just feel bad because the woman has moved on. So let me just destroy her so that the children will hate her. What is the benefit of the children hating the other person?
So it's actually very important, even the interaction between the two parents and the children, talking like one lady. She sent me a message 3 days ago saying that she has a 4-year-old daughter, and the daughter saw the dad once, and now she got fond of the father, and then she wants to see the father again and again. But the father has moved on, moved to another country, and even got another woman. And now this lady is confused because the girl is pushing her every day, Mommy, I want to see daddy. I want to see daddy. And when she called the guy gave a fake promise and said, I am going to buy some presents for you, like Christmas, like a father promising a daughter, I'm going to buy for you like toys and dresses and stuff like that. But this man never did that, you see? And then when these gifts were not bought, this daughter became so annoyed. And when she became annoyed, I am sure, which I suspect, the mother started saying those things that you're talking about. What happens when the other parent does not fulfill their promises? What can a parent do in such a situation? Because now he has promised, I will do this to you, and he doesn't do it. Don't you think the child becomes very confused, and then the mother is left alone? How can a woman or a parent in such a situation deal with it?
Yeah, those are things that have happened even to me. And that's why my first and my second, they don't really talk to their dad often because of that particular thing. Oh, I'll do this, and then later she doesn't do it. I'll do this. So if the child is younger, the parent keep on doing that. Of course, you talk to the parent and say, look, you're confusing this child. But don't deny, because a father can say, okay, then he has even done it 10 times. Maybe the 11th time, he was actually going to do it. But you now as a parent say, no, I want to protect my child. You're not hurting my child again. That child is not your child. It's both of you. So if that happens, just talk to your child and say, your dad did it again, but don't worry. Maybe next time you change. Don't just have the assumption that, the first time he won't do it, because maybe one day he will do it. But that one day, maybe you denied your child that your dad won't do it, and then the dad comes and knocks the door. And maybe the child went somewhere else, and the child comes and the dad said, oh, I was in the house, but you are not there because your mom said. And the child will, I'm telling you, these children, they will switch on you like this. They can switch on you like this. The child will be like, Mom, why did you do that? I've seen parents who have lied to their children, or that your dad is dead, or your mom is dead. And then one day they meet a parent. One day they switch on this other parent like you never existed. I've seen a woman who was crying one day because she struggled with her girls on the day of her marriage. The girl said, is my dad? And the mom was like, but you've never seen this man. He said, I Googled him. This girl, Googled her own dad, was having a relationship with that dad. The mom didn't even know. And on her marriages, the dad came in. The woman cried. She was so hurt. But why was she hurt? She was hurt because that is self-inflicted. You inflicted that to yourself because you denied this child, the other part of her. This child is two things, the mom and the dad, unless there's abuse. And I keep on saying, unless there is abuse. The dad abused these children, or the mom abused these children. That's different. But if it's only the battle between a woman and a man, you cannot involve the children.
Wow. So to add on that, the respect that we are talking about here, it is not okay, like Irene Moore is saying, giving fake promises. If the other parent is giving fake promises, I will do this to you, I will take you there, I will come, I will call you, and he doesn't do it. What should the other parent do? To stop the communication?
No, allow that child to stop. Because that child will stop. That child will say, oh, Mommy, I don't want to talk to daddy anymore. Those children are smart. Even if that child is 5, they have feelings. It's the feelings that get hurt. If that child's feeling is hurt, even a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, they know when the feelings are hurt. The child will say, no, I don't want to talk to dad. Don't force it. And you as a mom, don't push it. Immediately they say they don't want to talk to dad. You're like, yes, it's them who said it. It's not me. And you leave it like that. But you should not be the one initiating that. I don't want you to talk. No, let the child, because that child can see dad promised on Monday, he failed. On Tuesday, he failed. On Wednesday, the child will say, no, I don't want to talk to dad, mom. Don't get involved.
Wow. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about the parents who have fake promises like Irene Moore is saying there. What happens sometimes is not a good idea. And as Lydia said, you're not a psychologist, you're not a psychiatrist, you're just a single parent who has been raising your 3 daughters, and you're giving ideas on what has worked for you over the years to raise your children up to now. So we're almost winding up this show, and we really appreciate everyone who is watching. Remember to keep on sharing. And if you're just joining us, this is the Bold and Raw Talks with me, Lydia Tett Olet. and we are talking about parenting. The show is every Monday around this time. So tune in again next Monday, same time. Hopefully, we will continue talking about this parenting every single Monday when we both have time. So that's why we encourage you to follow this page. Follow Lydia Tett Olet. She's going to give her social media handles later on, and then we can keep these conversations going on. So Lydia, I want us to focus now on the final topic of our show today about identity.
Yeah.
Identity. Let me first ask you a question. The naming of the, I've received a message about naming of a child. Now that the father is missing or the other parent is missing, how did you handle the naming, first of all? Naming of your daughters.
Okay. Remember, I had all my 3 children when their dad was still around. He only left the last one, and the last one was 2. So we did all the naming together. But the second born, he gave the second one a name that later the second one used to cry anytime they called her that name, because it wasn't a very nice name. So I had to use Depot, and I changed it. But when I changed it, he was gone anyway. He wasn't in the house, so I didn't have to discuss it with him. And it was making my daughter upset anytime they called that name. So I had to change that name totally. Even up to now that she's 18, she doesn't even want anybody to know that name. So I changed it with Depot. So it's not on her passport, it's not on her birth certificate. I had to change it.
This is the second daughter?
Yeah, that's the second one.
The first one, how about the first one?
The first one, we all chose a name together. In fact, he chose the name. He chose, because I wanted her to be called Daisy, but the dad chose Denise. And she even said, "Oh, mom, thank God dad chose Denise, because Daisy is not a nice name." So it's good that. And then my second born, I chose the first name, Larissa. And that's why the dad now gave her the second name, which she didn't like. And I had to change it to Joy. I took that out and I changed it. And then the last one as well, I chose the second name, and he chose the first name. So we were doing it all together because we were together. So that was fine. But if I was by myself, I don't need you to help me choose a name. I'll just choose a name. Okay. And even in their birth certificate, their dad's name is there. Everything is there because they're still called, even their surname is still the same as their dad's surname. Even my firstborn, she was so angry. There's a time she was so angry she didn't even she wanted to change the surname. And I know a lot of children do that. I said, no, you can't, because that's your identity. Sweetheart, you can't change that. She was like, no, I don't want to be connected to this name, because this name, I said, sweetheart, is not the name that he's giving you. Because she was like, oh, I can't even do 9 things that I want because this name is like, I said, no, it's not the name, it's in the mind, it's your mindset. Because changing the name, changing the clothes, changing the location, changing the house will never change anything if the mindset is still the same. So you have to change your mindset. This name has nothing to do with anything bad that is happening to you. So you're keeping your name because that's your identity. And you know what, Benjamin? 3 years down or 4 years down the line, she came back and said, oh, thank you for allowing me, for not letting me change the name. You see? So if I allowed her to change the name, one day she'll come and blame me again and say, you didn't even stop me. But I told her you don't, because that's your identity. We should not deny our children their identity. And you see now the problem again comes with mixed race children. We know in diaspora we have a lot of mixed race children. Now, mixed race children, they go to the white community, they tell them they're not white. They go to the black community, some black communities say you're not black. So they're like left in a limbo. Who am I? Where do I go? You as a parent, you have to teach this child is not black. So don't accept the fact that the child will say she's black, and because it's only the black community that accepts the child. Because later in life, sometimes they start struggling with their identity. They start saying, well, no, teach the child, even though the white people have denied her or the black people have denied her, but teach your child that you have 2 identities. You are mixed race. And mixed race, if you have this blood and you have this blood, even if anybody says we don't want you, but mommy wants you, daddy wants you, we want you, but you still have to allow this child to have their identity. You have to teach these children their identity. You have to teach them their culture. You have to teach them their tradition. And you have to tell them, well, this was our tradition, but it was taken out because of ABCD. Or this is a tradition, but we don't practice it anymore because of ABCD. Example, FGM. FGM, we all know that FGM is something that a lot of cultures were practicing FGM. But is FGM really good for us? No, because there's health issues attached to FGM. A lot of health issues. You're destroying you're destroying the women's confidence. And even the reason why they were doing FGM is for stupid reasons that, oh, these women will have sexual feelings. And what kind of a reason is that? That's been selfish. So because they're just selfish, you don't want these women to have any sexual feelings, you go and cut their clitoris, and then they bleed to death. Some of them have infection. Some of them will never even have sexual feelings at all because now it's gone. You don't do that. So you explain to them that this is what we used to have, but we don't do it because of A, B, C, D. This was our tradition. This is our culture. You have to teach your children their identity. And you have to teach your children to love themselves. Love who they are. Love me, love everything about me as a black person, as a white person, as a mixed race.
Wow. And that's why we have this question here. What about when the man refuses the child?
Well, when the man refuses the child, it has nothing now to do with you. You've done your best. The man has refused the child. It has nothing to do with you. What you have to do now is, I know somebody asked a question there that you need to tell your children the truth why you are not with their other parent.
You see, even with this comment here, before you talk about that, Justina Chebi, this happened to me recently. I visited my kids at school, and to my surprise, their dad had changed their names. You know?
Yes. So I changed my daughter's name. So I'm sure that if he listens to this, he'll be like, oh, damn. This is the first time probably you hear it. But I changed it for a reason. For me, I changed my children's name for a reason, because my daughter's name for a reason, because it wasn't a good name. Okay, I don't want to repeat it here, but it wasn't a good name. And what I was saying, that question that somebody asked, and somebody also asked about telling your children, you need to have, you cannot tell a 5-year-old or a 6 or 7 years old why you're not with the dad. Let's say, example, the dad used to beat you or the dad raped you. Okay, because we do have that. Because that happened to me when I was with my children's dad. He actually raped me for almost 1 week. I had this mentality of submission. Submit to your husband because he's your husband. Submit to this. So if that happened to you and you left, I've never even told my children that. Even my daughter who is 24, I told her one day that, sweetheart, there's something that, but I'll tell you later. And she's like, Mommy, tell me now I'm older. No, you're not. Even at 25, I feel like I can't tell her that. You know, there's some things I can't just say. There's some things you cannot tell your children. You have to protect them from that. Because they might really hate the other person, and they shouldn't. Because that was your problem, you and your man. So there's some things, and then also, at what age are you going to tell your child that this is what happened and this is what happened?
Very important.
When it comes to things like that, you have to be careful so you don't destroy this child memory. You cannot tell a 6-year-old that your dad used to do this. They say it did not work. Me and your dad did not work. But you see, it's working really perfectly okay with you going to see your dad and then you see your mom. It's perfect. But when we are together, me and your dad, oh, it doesn't work. Or why does it not work? Because we don't agree in so many things. Because he has his own perception of things and I have my own perception of things. And every time our thinking and our ideologies, they always clash. So it's best when we're not together, for peace sake. But you cannot go into details and start telling your children this is what they did. This is you hurt them. It's not, you can't do that.
So for your case, like you said, your third daughter, the last born, your ex-husband left when she was 2 years old.
Yeah.
At what age did you begin telling her that daddy left? Now she's 16. Those are about how many years? 14 years.
Yeah.
When did you begin telling her exactly what happened? Or have you ever told her exactly what happened?
They know that dad is not around because they can see that it's only mom in the house. They're wondering, oops, so where is daddy? Because when they go to schools, they see children being dropped by their dads and children picked by their dads, and they wonder, where is my dad? I just said, dad is no, me and your dad couldn't stay together because it was we and your dad. There's just the same example I've said. I say, me and your dad, we used to just quarrel because we don't agree. If I say it's red, you say it's blue, and we start fighting. And why is it red? It's not blue. So there's a lot of things that me and your dad didn't agree.
Okay.
So we are better apart.
You just told them that you couldn't stay together with daddy.
Yeah, but there's some deep things you cannot tell your children.
You cannot,
You
yeah.
can't.
Okay, yes. There's one observation here, Lydia, by Dama Rees. What about those men who rejected his kid at birth? Do you have to give the baby his name?
Yes, you have to. That's the dad, regardless. I'm telling you, these people will come back one day. Even if they don't come back, that's your child's identity. That's why we're coming back with identity, because this child, let me tell you, Benjamin, these children, when they're older, they will not understand. Even if you tell them that, oh, your dad left, your dad wanted, even the ones that their dad even pays for your abortion. There are some men who even pay for your abortion, and they go into abortion. I don't want that child. Abort. One day they'll come back and say, oh, my mind wasn't clear. I wasn't thinking. Start saying some rubbish that they shouldn't even utter. But you've given that child the identity. What's more important, Benjamin, is when we lose our identity, we lose ourselves. You should not deny that child their identity, because it will reach a time where that child will make their own decision. Do I want to see this dad? Do I want to see this man? And don't start telling your child, because if your child is older and your child asks, mommy, why is my birth certificate this name? Because they will find out. These kids do find out. Why are you going to say, oh, your dad paid for my abortion to go and have abortion and I didn't? So if your dad didn't want you, the minute you tell a child your dad didn't want you, that's rejection. You don't want the child to feel rejected. That's a very bad spirit for a child to carry.
Wow, this topic of identity is becoming to create more reactions here. I can see Shah Jasmine is also saying, is it bad to change the names of your kids since the dad doesn't participate and they haven't seen him for more than 5 years? In your case, yeah.
Their surname, the children's surname, no, you can't. And we're coming back again. That's the same identity, Benjamin.
You see, she's saying that the man is not supporting, the man is not there. So is it okay to change that name? Because the man is not there.
Okay, let me give you an example again with mine. My ex never helped me. If he gives you 50 pounds, he will sing until tomorrow. And it got to a time when it got to a point where even £1 this man wasn't giving me. People started telling me, oh, here in the UK, I think in Kenya as well, you can do that, where you go and report a man that they're not helping you. There's social services in Kenya as well, isn't it? I know there was. And people are telling me, and I said, you know what? God has given me wisdom. God has given me strength. I'm not going to ask money from any man. I'm going to use my wisdom and the strength that God has given me to feed my children. But even with that, when their dad was not around, my daughters, my firstborn and my secondborn, don't even talk to their dad. Don't even talk, don't even see eye to eye. My last one, they're besties. Because my last one don't ask questions. My second one, my first one, they'll start asking him questions. Because of questions, this man disappeared. He doesn't want to be asked any questions. My daughter wanted to change her surname. I said, no. That's your identity. You're not changing it. Oh, but mom, I say it doesn't matter. You are not changing your identity. Do not change the child's surname. It's not about changing the name. The name is not about changing them. It's about changing the mentality. So imagine changing the child, and then one day the child now start asking you, mommy, why is or daddy comes back now and starts saying, even your birth certificate, my name is not there. Why are you going to explain to the child?
Because it's very difficult, yes.
Yeah, your explanation will make this child feel rejected. Your dad didn't want you. Your dad
I don't have a father and my father is alive.
Yes, exactly. Don't do those things. Identity is very important. Every single person on this. Okay, look at now, Benjamin. Look at America. They're always going to Ghana. They're looking for their identity. At what age? We see a lot of celebrities. I even saw Steve Wonder the other day saying, I'm going to Ghana. I found my identity. I found where my people are. He's now going to Ghana to settle in Ghana, taking his children to Ghana. Why are we, when they're older now, they want to start looking for their identity? Because they feel like something is missing. Don't do that to your children. Don't let your children feel like something is missing, that they now have to start looking for it.
This thing, identity, has so many, it's very complex. As you said, the topic again, ladies and gentlemen, being a single parent, how it's difficult and complex. I can see almost the same reactions of a parent who is missing, a parent who has ignored the children, a parent who does not support the children. So the other parent says, there's no need to use the name. But identity, as you have kept on saying, the name is important, but not... like what? Let me read one comment here I've just seen quickly by Pastor Monica Mulinge. Identity is not in the support. the self-identity, image, and concept of the child is more valuable than the material support. But that identity to be known, I am Bogonko, like my surname is Bogonko.
Thank you, Pastor Monica. That's exactly.
It's just a name, but the way you train her, the way you raise her, and the way you try to make her to know that yes, there was a father, but the father was not okay. She was a batterer, or she was a cheat, or she was abusive. Especially how about the parent who was abusive, Because there is a lot of bitterness. By the time these two people separate, people don't separate happily and say, okay, bye-bye. It was nice having a baby with you. Goodbye. There's a lot of bitterness and regret and anger that can make a parent to deny even those names to their children.
But you can't do that. Just like Pastor said, you cannot deny a child because of your problem with the husband or the wife. It has nothing to do with these children. So you can't be angry and change a child's name because you're angry. And change the child's surname. Surname is very important. That's their child's identity, and they need to have that. But at the end of the day, when that child is older, they have their own mind. They can make their own mind and say, I don't want to see my mom anymore. I don't want to see my dad anymore. Because of the things they've seen, not the things you're telling them. Because you telling them is like you're feeding them with some information. It's like you go to court and they say something, they say, no. That is, you're putting words in the witness's mouth. You don't do that. It's the things they see, because the children can see and they're so smart. But you can't be telling them your mom is this, your dad is this. Those are things you're feeding them. Don't feed them rubbish. Let them see for themselves and make their own decision and say, I don't want nothing to do with my dad. I don't want nothing to do with my mom.
So you see, like what doctor is saying again, if the other parent was an abuser, she says, I chose to look at the name issue spiritually. Names carry power. If his father was operating under some weird norms, e.g. an abuser or a killer, etc., I will completely disconnect. Do you know during many deliverance sessions, people have found themselves in some patterns, and the root is in the name thing? What if the man was a batterer? The man was abusive? What would you tell such a parent?
Okay. Remember what I said from the beginning. Unless this person is abusive to the children, not to you, but to the children. So if it was we have some useless, good for nothing humans called fathers who rape their children. Okay, we have that. So if that was to happen, because that's different, that one you will never see your child again. That one is disconnected 100%. You disconnect and you cut everything. That's different. But most of the cases that we talk about is just because a woman and a man fought. But we do have those cases that the doctor is talking about, those weird cases of spiritual this and spiritual that, and a murderer and a killer. Because yes, the name, that's why I keep on saying identity is very important. The name do carry a lot of the name makes you. That's why when they say Jezebel, if somebody's called Jezebel, what does Jezebel means? We all know what Jezebel means. So if you start a child a name, you have first of all to look, and that's why I said my second born name, I had to change it because it wasn't a good name. So I had to change it totally. And I don't even say it. We don't say that name anymore. And I changed it when she was 6. Because at the age of 6, she knew already this name wasn't good. And she used to cry. So I changed it. So if a name is attached to evil, like that man, if this is what the man is doing, or even women, if this is what the woman did, and what she did is satanic, because to rape your child, that's satanic. That's not normal. So yes, disconnect 100%.
So in your case, the 3 daughters, let me ask you now, for the sake of clarification, the first daughter, does she use your ex's name?
All of them.
All of them they use, all of them?
All of them. They are called my ex's name because my ex did nothing wrong to them. My ex only did me wrong, not them. But the only thing now that he did them wrong is the false promises. So they're like, they cut him off. But they made that choice. I did not make that choice for them. Even now, sometimes, let me tell you something, because my 16-year-old is still like this with their dad. And sometimes when the dad says something, I say, oh yeah, but your dad said, and they look at me and laugh and say, Mom, seriously, you've not learned. He's not going to do it. I say, give him the benefit of the doubt. He will do it. And sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. But then that was their choice.
Okay, you see this reaction here by Bibi Governor. As a kid born out of wedlock, the lady is talking 100% sense. Identity is very important. Don't deny your kids. I'm 40 years old and searching for my identity, not for my materialistic benefits, but for identity. She is 40, but doesn't know who she is, and there is a missing name at the age of 40.
It's right. Identity is very important, Benjamin.
This is going to happen as much as the woman is so bitter and so annoyed with what happened with their exes. Eventually, it's going to pop up to their child.
It will. And then the child will blame you. And I'm telling you, you see, when they say that a building, it takes years or months or whatever to build a building, to put a foundation up, but it takes seconds to break it. If you're a mom or a dad and you're with a child and you're denying this child's identity, you're denying when they're now older and they now find out the truth. Benjamin, 1 second, that child will never talk to you again, because they will say everything we said was a lie. Everything about you, mommy or daddy, was a lie, because you lied to me. This one very piece, powerful information, identity, you lied to me. So just tell the children the truth and let them make their own decision. And again, I'll repeat, unless there's abuse, then you cut off.
Okay. Unless there's abuse, and abuse means
Sexually.
you and your ex.
No, if the parent is sexually abusing either the children or molesting the children, of course that one you cut, because that's satanic. That is satanic. That one you cut it off.
Okay.
But just because he's beating you up or she's beating you up, that has nothing to do with the children.
Yeah, we can talk about this thing about identity. You see, still people are going back and saying, what if? Why should I keep on struggling with someone's name who is less concerned about me and my babies? you know. But Chalista Mageto, you can see what this other person has said. Bibi Governor, where is the comment of Bibi Governor? So in this, what happens to you, Chalista Mageto? Now you are still very angry with your ex and you don't even want anything to do with their name. Where is Bibi Governor's comment? I saw the comment. Did she just delete? Yeah. This one here, I want you to read there, Chalista Mageto. This one is saying she's 40 years and she's now struggling to find identity, to know what is her name. And I can see she's even calling herself Bibi Governor.
Bibi Governor.
Yes, Lydia, I think we have now finished our discussion today.
Yeah.
And I hope our viewers have picked up something. Remember, as we started off, Lydia said she's not a counselor, or she is not an expert. She's not a superhuman or a super parent. She's just been raising her 3 beautiful angels, and she's sharing her ideas. What may work for her may not necessarily work for you. I think, Lydia, that's the message.
Yeah.
Because some parents will be now confused. Wow, Lydia said this.
Exactly.
Yes. But even the viewers, you can see on the comments what is happening to the people and what they are experiencing. As we are talking, like Bibi Governor at the age of 40 has to find her identity. So if this identity is cut off from your child, then maybe your child or your children will eventually become like Bibi Governor in the future. You never know. Yes. So parting shot, Lydia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, your parting shot to the viewers. I want you to speak to them directly in a summary form.
Yes. Like I always say, and I've said it, and Benjamin, I've repeated it, I'm not a counselor or a psychiatrist. I'm just a parent who have raised children, and I work a lot with different youths. So between all these youths, when I talk to them, I gather so much information, and I've also done a lot of lessons and classes in regards to parenting. And that is why I give my own knowledge that I have, because they say knowledge is power, but it's only power if you implement it. And if I have my knowledge and I refuse to give, that means that I'm so selfish, because I've not given what I know. So I'm giving you what I know as somebody else gave me what they knew. And that's what helped me bring up my 3 beautiful girls. And I always say they're not perfect, but they are angels. Okay. And parenting is just like marriage. There is no book for it. There's no manual for it, but there's guidelines. And sometimes if you follow the guidelines, you'll find yourself in the right path. So whatever I'm saying is just guidelines. If it's for you, take it. If it's not for you, don't just throw it in the bin, but put it in the shelf. Because maybe one day you come back and say, you know what? in Benjamin's show, this lady with red hair said something like this. Let me go and take it again and see if I can implement it in my parenting. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. And I also just want to say thank you so much for everybody on Facebook as well. Thank you so much for everybody on Benjamin's show who came and took their time, who shared your questions, your comments. Thank you so much for your participation. And if you want to see me, my name is Lydia Tett Olet, and that's my Facebook page as well. And I also have shows every Wednesdays, a different topic every Wednesdays, and every Monday here with Benjamin talking about parenting, because that's my passion. And if we get it right, we are going to have a better tomorrow. So thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lydia. Thank you for that parting shot. And I want to say sincerely thank you for having time to come and share your experiences. Remember, we promised our viewers, with the time, the 3 angels, you will bring them here. Sometimes people may not believe in what you're saying, but I really, really hope we will plan together, me and Lydia, to bring her daughters. Some of these questions you can even ask her daughters directly on camera, and also me together as the host. I will also be very, very interested in talking to some of your daughters to share their experiences raising or growing up together with you. Is it true what you're doing to them?
Yes.
Or is just social media, internet talk?
I know.
Yes.
And
So thank you so much.
Children, they can't lie.
They can, yeah, children never lie. I know, because I've been a teacher. If they are put on spot, if they are there on camera together, unless you coach them and tell them, hey, when Benjamin asks this, say like this. No. I don't think you can do that. We will have Lydia bringing her children so that we can see what her children also say about these topics here. So Lydia, once again, thank you for your time. And I hope to see you again next Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. And God bless.
God bless.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, and all the viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you nothing but the best. As a parent, all we can say is do your best and let God take charge. Whatever you're doing, just remember you're doing your best. Nobody is a superhuman. Nobody is a super parent. You are still doing your best, and your child can see it. So don't try to overstrain yourself, and never doubt yourself. Never doubt what you're doing. Yes, you can doubt what you're doing. You can blame so many things. You can blame your ex. You can even you can sacrifice so much for your child. They might disappoint you, but just do your best. And that's why we are doing this show, to encourage each other, and also, more importantly, to see what other people are saying on the comments, and even what our guest is saying together with me. I wish you well wherever you are. Thank you so much. Tune in next Monday. Remember to like and follow this page. If you're watching for the first time, don't forget to go to YouTube and watch a repeat. My social media handles are there: Benjamin_Bogonko on Instagram, and also on YouTube, Benjamin Junior Bogonko. Subscribe and then tune in to watch other videos, especially these ones of every Monday. See you next week. God bless and take care. And from Lydia and me, we wish you a nice evening or a good afternoon wherever you are. Thank you and God bless.